Hello, everyone. This isn't my most popular type of content, but I like doing these things, and I think it's fun to put out videos like this, so I'm gonna do them nonetheless. It's not like I'm beholden to a wider audience anyway. I don't have that many subs. So, my own complaining out of the way. There's a new Unearthed Arcana for 5e. Information on the feedback survey. I think it's mostly subclasses, by the way, in case you were curious. I have been designing 5th edition subclasses over the past couple of years now, so I've learned a lot about like what works and what doesn't, and what's cool and what isn't and stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things you could be like, well, anyone could do that. So it's like, yeah, sure, I guess, but um, it's one of those things. I want to do it. There you go. It's that simple. Hell yeah, give me feedback on all this stuff. Let's see how long this takes. Hopefully not like super duper long, but knowing me, it's gonna be like an hour long because that's just how every video I make is. Have you playtested College of the Moon? Of course not. Like, I appreciate the asking of the Unearthed Arcana stuff when they do it, but like, who's gonna have like a friend group who's like, all right, I'm gonna get 5 people together, we're all gonna play test one of these classes, and we're gonna do like a few shot in the couple of weeks before the thing comes out. I mean, I would do that if I had like enough friends that didn't have a life, and also I got paid to do it, but nonetheless, it is what it is. How do you feel about College of the Moon? Alright, College of the Moon, Bard. I have read these already, but I'm gonna go over them a bit, because, not everyone knows already what this is about before they click on the video, so. Yeah, Bard subclass, Moonshae Folktales. As a magic action, you can do, one of these 3 things. Wow. When you restore HP, you can expend Bardic to increase the amount of hit points equal to the Bardic. Like, that's alright. Do this once per turn. Tale of Gloam, when you use a bonus action to give a Bardic, you can take Disengage or Hide as a part of the bonus action. This one in particular, I had some problems with. Especially because using Bardic Inspiration, right, is you playing an instrument, singing a song, or doing a dance, or something that's very obvious, right? Like, you're inspiring people in a way that's very... And in that regard, it's like, I don't know. Like, if it's disengage and hide, I understand, right? You play a little song, you run away, you hide behind a bush, cool. But if you're just standing in the middle of the battlefield, and you, like, give someone a Bardic Inspiration, and then what, you crouch? You're like just a Skyrim player now. It's just like, I don't know, man. Like, this, it doesn't seem like it works. I don't even know why it's an option, because it doesn't seem like it 90 times out of 100 will do anything. But uh, could be proven otherwise. Maybe, I don't know. When you invoke a tale of merriment, this is potentially very good. Bardic Inspos can be pretty beefy in the late game. So, rolling potentially like a 6, right, will make your spells hit pretty much every time. Which is pretty good. Gotta say. Can't understand using Tale of Gloam like ever. Because this one's pretty good. If you like to heal a lot, it's actually pretty solid. Like, bards have kind of been wanting a healing dedicated sort of subclass. So this is nice. This is really solid for other support things like CC, hold person. This doesn't do anything. Anyway, Primal Lorist, you learn Druidic and a Druid cantrip. One, they shouldn't get Druidic. Not that Druidic matters, because it's probably the least used and or useful language in D&D. But Druids knowing Druidic is like their one thing that they do that is like, oh, I can't do that. Only a Druid can know Druidic. Also, Druid spell lists are like pretty much all bad. So, who cares? I mean, you know, you could pick up some that are like okay, right? You could do hold on, let me have the Druid spell list open. Mending or Guidance or Elementalism or Druidcraft or something. Some like RP cantrip. Sure, whatever. And you can get proficiency in a skill. That's pretty fine. Like, you get an extra cantrip, get an extra skill. I don't think they should be able to learn Druidic, but it is what it is. Blessing of the Moonwells. This is ass. I hate this feature. You always have Moonbeam prepared. Alright, that's fine. You know, get an extra spell prepared. As a bonus action, you can cast Moonbeam without expending a spell slot. Wow, that's crazy. While you use it, you glow faintly. While glowing, you shed dim light. Completely pointless. Dim light out to 5 feet doesn't do anything. When a creature fails its saving throw against Moonbeam, another creature of your choice you can see within 60 feet regains health. That's pretty cool, right? Especially if you have, like, Tale of Life, right? When you restore hit points to a creature with a spell, you are restoring hit points to a creature with Moonbeam. So it, as far as I can tell, it works. So it's pretty neat. However, you can use this once per long rest, or you can use a level 3 plus spell slot. Like, this is an unupcast Moonbeam. You have to concentrate on it still. So, by the time you're level 6, you already have 3rd level spells. You already have 3rd level spells, and this is a Moonbeam doing regular Moonbeam damage. And its upside is if someone fails a saving throw, you can heal a target within 60 feet. Which is pretty good. But this still requires concentration. And once you get like level 4 spells or level 5 spells, do you really want to be concentrating on Moonbeam? Like, is this a completely useless feature then? And I would argue yes. Because forcing a class to concentrate on a spell for them to get the most out of their features is just bad. It's just bad design. Because then you're not really making any decisions, right? Like, whenever you level up, you're taking spells and stuff, but you're not going to use any of them because you're concentrating on Moonbeam the whole time. And realistically, are you going to be doing that? Probably not. But, I mean, it's the same issue with Ranger, except in my opinion, it's, like, kind of worse because Bards have more spells. And this one isn't a martial, so I think this is bad. The power of your Moonshade Folktales improves. When you use your Tale of Life or Tale of Mirth, you can roll a d6 and use the number rolled in place of a bardic inspiration. This is ass. Like, this is so bad. Especially because by this point, what, your bardics are a d12? Oh no, it's a d10. Sorry, at 14th level, it's a d10. You get a d12 in one level, though. But a d6 is horrible. It should at least be a d8. Like, it's so bad. And I don't know, man. Like, why would you do this when you're just, like, if you're playing this class, you're probably just using all your bardics on Tale of Life and Tale of Mirth anyway. I will say, Tale of Gloam, you can teleport 30 feet to an unoccupied space is actually useful. Because now you can teleport and then hide. And you don't need to disengage, which is nice. But it's literally the only... Like, it takes until level 14 to get your level 3 feature to even work, like, at all. Sorry, this one. It's really stupid. And I don't like it. So, there you go. That was already 10 minutes for one subclass. I need to speed this shit up. It needs significant changes. Moonshade Folktales. I'd like it with changes. I'd like it with changes. I don't like this feature at all. I'd like it with changes. Alright, cool. What keeps you from rating Moonshade Folktales as green? Tale of Gloam. Gloam's hide feature probably won't ever work. And disengaging is way less powerful than reducing a save by 6, potentially, or increasing healing by the same, right at 3. What keeps you from rating Primal Lorist as green? I don't think non-druids should have access to druidic. What keeps you from rating level 14 Bolstered Folk Tales as green? At level 14, you are using 7th level spells. This feature is terrible. Other than making Gloam actually usable. Have you played a Knowledge Domain Cleric in 5th edition? Yeah. Have you playtested Knowledge Domain? No. How do you feel about Knowledge Domain? Alright, here we go. Knowledge Domain Cleric. What do they change? Blessing of Knowledge now gives you proficiency. The spells have been updated to include more damaging and combat relevant options. Mind Magic can have you expend to use a Channel Divinity to cast one of your Demon spells without expending a spell slot. This is always nice. Unfettered Mind is a feature that grants you telepathy and consistent int checks. Knowledge Domain. You gain proficiency with an Artisan's Tool. Cool. And 2 skills of your choice. Awesome. You have expertise in them. These are 2 int skills, by the way. For our Wisdom class, but this is fine. You get expertise in these skills. Very cool. Knowledge Domain spells. You get a spell list. You get command. Detect magic, detect thoughts, identify, mind spike. Spell magic, non-detection tongues, arcane eye, banishment, confusion, legend lord, scrying, synaptic static. A lot of spells. A lot of always prepared spells at that. And most of them pretty good. Spell magic is very useful to have always prepared. Arcane eye is pretty useful. Banishment, we all know, is pretty good. Scrying's okay. Legend lore's okay. Synaptic static's pretty good. I mean, you know, there's some alright stuff. It's flavorful for knowledge. It helps you know things, so I am totally okay with that. And then Mind Magic. You can use a Channel Divinity to use one of your Knowledge Domain spells that you have prepared. You can cast that spell without using a spell slot or needing material components. Very good. Like, no issues from me there. Essentially just a pack slot as disguised as Channel Divinity. I'm fine with that. You gain telepathy. When you use this telepathy, you can contact a number of creatures equal to your Wisdom mod. Additionally, if your total for an int check is lower than your Wisdom score, you can use that score in place of the total. That's pretty crazy, right? So, like, let's say you have expertise in history, right? But you have 8 int because you don't really want int. Although I guess that means your expertise is going to waste, which is kind of a shame, but nonetheless. Actually, it's not that bad. Because you could take religion, and then get expertise on that, and then use your wisdom for it because of the new cleric rules. Yeah, you could take thaumaturge, and then you get a bonus to your intelligence, arcana, or religion checks. The bonus equals your wisdom modifier. So yeah, it's pretty good. Nonetheless, let's say your wisdom is 18. You can make your check an 18 instead of whatever you rolled, which is pretty nice, I would say. Once your wisdom's a 20, which it probably will be, this is pretty good. This is for any int check too, so it could be things you don't even have the blessings of knowledge for. You could just be like, I want to make an investigation check. I get a 20. It's pretty good for a 6th level feature, I think. And telepathy with your whole party, potentially at level 6, also very useful. Level 17, as a bonus action, you expend your mind to the possibilities of the future for an hour. You have advantage on d20 tests. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. You can also restore your use of this by expending a level 6 plus spell slot. Anyway, this is good. I don't know if you understand like how the d20 test thing works in 1D&D or not. I'm going to assume you do, but if you don't, basically anything that requires you to roll a d20 is a d20 test. So if it's an attack roll, or an ability check, or a saving throw, that's a d20 test. So this is very good. It's a bonus action as well, so you can use this in combat. It lasts an hour. It's a lot. It doesn't require concentration. So yeah, this is awesome. Honestly, knowledge domain, kinda lame in 2014. This version of it is a little boring, but I think as far as knowledge is concerned, it's good. Yeah, I think it's fine. Blessings of knowledge, it's fine. It's all fine. I'm down. Purple Dragon Knight Fighter! Obviously I've not played this in 5th edition because it's the worst subclass they've ever printed, other than the Barbarian one that turns you into a bowling ball. Oh well, it is what it is. Have you playtested? How do you feel about Purple Dragon? Alright. We take a look at Purple Dragon Knight. Knightly Envoy. Learn a language. Makes sense. You're a knight. You can cast Comprehend Languages as a ritual. Why learn one language of your choice if you can cast a spell as a ritual? I don't understand. Also, intelligence is your spellcasting modifier for it. Sure. I would rather this class be a charisma class, but you know, that's just me. You're bonded with an amethyst dragon hatchling. It serves as a purple dragon companion. Here's the purple dragon companion stat block. Wow. It's pretty weak. It doesn't do very much. But, you know, it's there. It's cute. It can fly even. Right off the get. So it's more or less a find familiar for you, which is nice. You can take your bonus action to command it to take an action. It's nice. So if you don't have a bonus action attack, or you don't want to use second wind or something, just, you know, have it bite someone, which is alright. It's not crazy, but it's not bad. Gravity Breath is pretty cool too. You can push people into pits and stuff twice a day. It's nice. Uh, I think this is pretty good. I mean, it's a 3rd level feature. It's not the strongest creature at 3rd level or anything, but it shouldn't be. I think it's pretty nice. Let's see. You can resurrect the dragon with a 2nd wind after 1 minute, which is nice. Yeah, I don't know. Not a lot of notes, honestly. I just, I'd like it as written with tweaks. Yeah, it's kind of how I feel, honestly. Nightly Envoy, I'd like some changes. I'd like some changes. Stat block, basically. At level 7, you can ride it as a mount. That's cool. It can even fly while you're riding it, as long as it lands somewhere before the end of its turn. It's pretty good. Better than the Ranger version already. But, you know, we at Wizards, we don't really like Rangers. Gravity Breath becomes a 30-foot cone. And does damage now. Which is kind of neat, I guess. Doesn't do damage that matters, but the cone being bigger matters. Also, if you use your 2nd wind to heal, your dragon also heals. So that's cool. And gets a gravity breath back. This is just fine, honestly. No notes. It's good. Sounds nice. Rallying Surge. When you use Action Surge, you can choose 3 allies within 30 feet. Each ally can take a reaction. Alright, so already there's a couple things that need to happen. Your allies need to be within 30 feet of you, they have to have a reaction up, and you have to use Action Surge. Also, it can only be 3. So if you have a 5-man party or whatever, you can't pick 4. The ally makes 1 attack with a weapon or unarmed strike. So keep in mind, if your allies are not standing next to an enemy, or they are not wielding bows, or, yeah, just bows or crossbows or guns, I suppose, as long as they have already dealt with the loading property. This doesn't do anything. The Purple Dragon is one of the allies using advance. The dragon can make 1 run attack. So if you are in front of an enemy, you can have it advance, which is good, because most of the time you will run up to someone, hit them, then Action Surge, then hit them again. So you doing that and then having your dragon attack is actually quite good. However, using this on party members, like I said, unless you are very specifically forcing this to be good, will never work. Because also keep in mind, your ally, your Elven Accuracy Longbow Archer is probably not going to be within 30 feet of you if you're in melee range of an opponent as a fighter. So, yeah, it's just all bad there. The ally moves up to half its speed without provoking opportunity attacks. That's pretty good, actually. And they can pick which one, which is nice. So, if you have a caster who's stuck in melee combat, you can run up to them and save them with this, potentially, right? You run up to them, you advance your dragon, so it attacks again. You retreat your ally, so they escape. However, I will say, if you're surrounded by goblins, right, and you're a fighter, and your wizard is surrounded and you go help them, there's a pretty good chance that before retreat matters, you've killed whatever is in the way. So, I mean, you know, you're making... you're level 10, not 11, but let's say you're level 11. I know you're saying, what do you mean, let's say you're level 11? That's a complete difference, but whatever. Let's just say, for the sake of the argument, you're making 3 attacks, you kill something. You Action Surge, you make 3 attacks, you kill a second thing. your dragon attacks something twice, even, because let's say you don't have bonus action attacks on this build because you want your dragon to attack. Not only that, the dragon can use gravity breath to push the things away anyway, and they don't get opportunity attacks if they get pushed away. So, realistically, will this matter? No, probably not. So, overall, this is you get your dragon gets to attack one more time. This is what this is. It doesn't do anything other than that. So I'm gonna say, I don't like this feature. I don't like it at all. It's bad. Sorry. You and your purple dragon gain following benefits. Your dragon is even bigger. Its speed and fly speed increase, and it no longer falls while flying at the end of its turn, so you can just be in the middle of the air, which is cool. Now you can have a longbow, you know? Which you probably will want to do, because, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't get flyby. So, yeah. Granted, you can use retreat! Whoa! So you could fly in and attack something, and then action surge, attack, and then move away. I guess. Wow! Anyway. Yeah. Bit of a shame, but it's what it is. Flying is cool. And you know what? You could have like a +1 returning hand axe or something that could work, maybe. When you take the attack action on your turn, you can forgo one of your attacks to command the dragon to make a rend attack. Alternatively, you can forgo 2 to command it to use gravity breath. I can't imagine this ever being helpful, right? Its rend attack doesn't do more damage at this rate. So unless you have +5 intelligence, which would be horrible, but let's say you have +5 intelligence at level 15, and your dragon is as strong as it can be, your attack, if you also have +5 strength, which, once again, in this hypothetical, you do, but realistically, you're not gonna, it's just not good. Like, yeah, I don't know. Because you'll probably be attacking with something that's better than a D6, right? I just... Yeah, I don't know. Foregoing 2 attacks to use gravity breath also is terrible. You don't have to do that. You don't have to give up 2 attacks to make it use gravity breath. You just have to give up your bonus action instead. Which is significantly less of an investment than 2 attacks as a fighter at level 15. This is terrible. So, yellow. Enduring Commander. You get resistance to Force and Psychic. It's fine. Force is a really rare resistance, and honestly, 2 resistances is good. It's boring, but it's good. So, whatever. Intelligence as a mod instead of charisma. Also, giving an extra language and comprehend languages as a ritual is weird. Yeah, intelligence is a modifier instead of charisma, basically. Fighter already has 2 int classes. Like, it just seems arbitrary. Amethyst Pinnacle is green. Oh, it didn't ask me about the level 10 one. I guess if it's red, they're just like, alright, fair enough. So, fair enough, I guess. Tandem attack is horrible. The dragon's damage die doesn't scale. And you're a fighter. You're a fighter, and the dragon doesn't have flyby. Alright. Oath of the Noble Genies subclass. No, of course not. Alright, here we go. Oath of the Noble Genies. Elemental Smite. After you cast Divine Smite. Why Divine Smite only? I'm wondering. But you can use a Channel Divinity as well as a Divine Smite to invoke one of the following effects. You can grapple someone. While grappled, they're restrained. Wow. I wonder why they're not just restrained. Because as far as I'm aware, it doesn't say it's grappled by you. So it being grappled doesn't mean anything. So why not just say they're restrained? It's so stupid. Anyway. Genies escape. You teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 30 feet of yourself. Wow. Great. And then you are misty until the end of your next turn. This is not awesome. You can use a Channel Divinity to use a elf baseline feature. You can't be knocked over for a turn. Oh, you're right. You're so right. No, it's terrible. Take an extra 2d4 fire damage. It's boring, but it's fine. I don't know why I wouldn't just use Searing Smite, which is definitely better than doing 2d4 fire damage. Keep in mind, you're using a Channel Divinity to do 2d4 fire damage. Horrible. The target and each creature of your choice, 10-foot emanation, originating from you, makes a strength saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is pushed 15 feet straight away from you and has the prone condition. Wow. This is okay. In my opinion, it's probably the best one. And it's not that good. It's pretty bad. Honestly, it's horrible. Yeah. No. Here, I'll say it with significant changes. There you go. Because I like the idea. I like the concept. But it should be on any smite, for one. And if you're thinking right now, that wouldn't work with this because of blah, 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 then they should just make it work. They are a billion-dollar company. Like, I know the guy writing this is probably just some poor intern, but, you know, they gotta try a little harder. Also, this is for the use of a Channel Divinity keep in mind, other paladins get channel divinities that aren't useless. So, they need to up their game. When you reach paladin level specified in the Genie spells table, you have these spells prepared. These are fine. Getting mirror image on a paladin is pretty cool, actually. Conjure Mind Elementals at 13, pretty good, especially now. I don't know why you'd ever use Summon Elemental as a paladin at level 13, considering the way that summon spells scale, but, you know, it's cool that they get it. Genie's Splendor. When you aren't wearing medium or heavy armor. Okay. So you are a light armor paladin. You gain a bonus to your AC equal to your charisma modifier. Alright. So, you want to be a paladin using a finesse weapon and wearing light armor. Let's say you have, I don't know, +1 studded leather armor. I don't think that is out of the realm of possibility for a campaign. Right? So that's 13 AC. You have +5 to your dex. That's 18 AC. You can still wield a shield, by the way. It does not say, and not wearing a shield. So that's 20 AC. Let's say you have +5 charisma, which honestly, you probably want +5 charisma anyway, because you're a paladin who's casting spells. So, you have 25 AC as a light armor paladin using a dex weapon. Imagine, if you will, your spellcasting modifier boosting your AC. You don't have to imagine, because that's what you're doing, and it's insanely good. It's good. A heavy armor paladin wishes, honestly. You also gain proficiency in a skill. Yippee. So you can get intimidation, performance, or persuasion on a class that's already a charisma class. Aura of elemental shielding. Choose a damage type. You and your allies have resistance to that damage type. At the start of your turns, you can change it. This goes without saying. This is very good. People might think, what are you talking about? This isn't that good. You can easily pick a character who is resistant to fire, or pick a character who's resistant to cold or something. It's like, sure. But keep in mind the versatility of, oh, we're fighting a fire elemental this session. So I'm just gonna have a fire aura, and you don't even have to prepare it before, like, you know what it is. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, I did scouting and I could prepare my fire one at the start of the day. No, you can change it every turn, and if you beat the fire elemental and, I don't know, his bro, the ice elemental, comes out and decides to fight you, guess what? You're now resistant to cold. This is absurdly good. Yeah. Because it also works for you. This is, I don't know if I can understate how, like, powerful potentially this is. Level 15, Elemental Rebuke. When you're hit by an attack roll, you can take a reaction to halve the attack's damage against yourself. Yippee. It's pretty good. Force the attacker to make a dex save against your spell save. Against a failed save, the attacker takes damage equal to 4d10 plus your charisma mod. Why plus your charisma mod? Like, if you're doing 4d10, why add an extra 5? I don't know, but you get an extra 5 damage. Yippee. The damage is one of the types of your choice. So, if you're fighting, I don't know, a troll, you could just be like, you're on fire now. Once again, I can't overstate how useful just being able to pick whatever damage type you want is. It's very nice. Yeah, you can use it equal to your charisma mod. Yay. Alright, so 5 times a day, even though you are resistant to pretty much any elemental damage. And you have potentially, at level 15, it's not totally out of the realm of possibility. 25 AC. And that's without having a +1 shield or +3 armor or something as well, which people don't usually get, but by level 15, a +1 shield and +1 armor is pretty likely, so 26 seems pretty possible. Nonetheless, yeah, you could just have half the damage, you know? You're probably not getting hit anyway, but if they hit you, you just go, I take half damage. Also, take 4d10 plus 5 of a damage that you are potentially vulnerable to. Crazy. Very good. Yeah. As a bonus action, you gain the benefits below for 10 minutes or until you end them. No action required. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. You can also restore your use of it by expending a level 5 spell slot. Wow. Great. So, for 10 minutes, you can fly. Also, if someone fails a d20 test, you can take a reaction to make the d20 test succeed. That's okay. It's way better than re-rolling, I'll tell you that. You have to take a reaction to make one d20 test succeed, though. So if your whole team is hit by, like, let's say a hypnotic pattern, right? And 3 allies fail, you can make one of them not fail. But also, keep in mind, that's best case scenario for a reroll that in your aura as well, and you're stacking charisma, so your aura is definitely a +5 to all saves at this point. So if they're probably not going to fail, like maybe you have someone miss an attack roll, but Great Weapon Master is not a thing anymore, so it doesn't actually matter that much. By the time you're level 20, the chances are your fighter isn't gonna miss his attack roll, and if he misses 1, is it worth your reaction? Like, probably not. If they could take their reaction while in your aura to reroll, I think it would be much better. Yeah. Also, I wouldn't use a level 5 paladin spell slot on a fly and this effect. I wouldn't do it. So, it's not very good. That's okay, though, because most of them are pretty good. Genie spells, honestly, they're like all good except for Summon Elemental, which is cool, so I don't care if it's bad. Genie Splendor is it's insanely good. Yep. Just keep it in, honestly. 26 AC light armor paladin. Heavy armor is the way of the past, I guess. Aura of elemental shielding, insanely good. Elemental rebuke, insanely good. Noble Scion, it's bad. Yeah, they should just change it, like, entirely. Oh, I forgot about this one. Whoops. I like it, but it needs some help. What keeps you from rating level 3 Elemental Smite as green? Alright, For a channel divinity, it's really weak and doesn't scale. Also, some of the wording is weird. And it should just work on all your smites. Why only Divine Smite? Alright. Have you playtested the Winter Walker? No. How do you feel about it? I remember being like mildly annoyed with it when I read it the first time. Also, I was right. This is going to be an hour long. I really just can't shut up. Anyway, you have cold resistance. Wow. When you hit a creature with a weapon, you can deal an extra d4 cold damage, which can take this extra damage only once per turn. The extra damage ignores resistance to cold. When you reach a level 11, the damage increases to 1d6. This is fine, I guess. I've definitely heard people say, why not just give them an extra d4 on every attack? But as it is, it's still fine. Like, you get a resistance, you get some extra damage. It's fine. Hunter's Rhyme. If you cast Hunter's Mark, gain temp HP. Great. Additionally, when a creature is marked by Hunter's Mark, it can't disengage. Winter Walker spells. When you reach a ranger level, you get these spells. You get Ice Knife. I would have liked them to get 2 spells for each of these, but whatever. These are good spells. Remove Curse, Cone of Cold, Pass Without a Trace, Ice Knife, Ice Storm's okay. You know, sure. I guess. I have to think, though, if I'm using Hunter's Mark to get my Hunter's Rhyme feature, when am I going to be using Ice Knife? You might be thinking Ice Knife doesn't require concentration. True. True. However, you might not know this, and or you might not remember this. Till the spell ends, you deal an extra d6 whenever you hit it with an attack roll. You also have advantage on any wisdom. Yeah. So, unless they changed it to where spell attacks are now attack rolls. No, they did not. Yeah, you're not getting your extra Hunter's Mark damage. Why would you use a damage spell as a ranger? There's no reason. So, most of these are useless. It is what it is. This is the way they wanted to design this class, for some reason. Your experience surviving allows you to bolster allies. You finish a short rest, choose allies. You can heal them, even though they just finished a short rest, so they probably just spent hit die to heal anyway. But alright. And they have advantage to end saving throws, or against saving throws, for frightened, for 1 hour. Wow. So once per day, if you take a short rest, and if you're damaged, and if you think you're going to fight someone who can fear you after you've already been attacked, alright? So this is a campaign in which you can take a short rest because you have enough time. You have already had a combat, so you're healing, and you think you're going to have another combat within an hour with someone who can fear you. That's a lot of ifs, huh? Like, that's, and once per long rest? So you can't even heal your allies a d10 every time you take a short rest? Why not? If you're taking short rest anyway, the fighter can just use second wind. I don't understand. Honestly, I am completely flabbergasted. Chilling Retribution. If you're hit, you can take a reaction. Yeah, and make a wisdom save. If they fail, they're frightened. Wow. Use this reaction a number of times equal to your wisdom mod. And you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Crazy. Once again, why are they frightened and their speed reduced to 0 instead of just being restrained or stunned? You might be like, well, actually, if they failed and got stunned, that would be really powerful. Also, the flavor of this class is that people are afraid of you. Also, you have a short rest subclass feature, and everything comes back on a long rest. Like, what? So this is only an attack roll, also. Like, all of this is so lame. Frozen Haunt. If you cast Hunter's Mark, oh yippee, it's back. You can turn ghostly. Ooh. Wow. Once you use this, you can only use it once per long rest, or use a level 4 spell slot. Wow. You have immunity to cold. You adopt this form at the start of each of your turns. Each creature takes 2d4 cold damage. Oh my gosh, I'm a level 15 ranger and they're taking 2d4 cold damage? That's crazy. Man, I can't wait to fight a creature with 500 health and do 2d4 to them each turn. Jeez Louise, man. You have immunity to grappled, prone, and restrained, and you can move through things. Wow. If you end inside of something, you take damage, but you're actually not forced outside of it. Which is crazy, because usually they would not be so nice. The form ends while you're inside a creature or object, you're shunted. Well, you know. You gotta take the wins where you can get them. Anyway, I remember why I was upset. Red, I don't like the Winter Walk. I like the flavor. I'm gonna go with yellow because I like the idea of there being an Ice Ranger. Frigid Explorer, it's fine. They could tweak it a bit, but I think it's fine. Hunter's Rhyme, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, definitely yellow. Winter Walker spells, yellow. Fortifying Soul. It's, just red. It's just red. Chilling Retribution, yellow. Frozen Haunt, yellow. Alright. What keeps you from rating Hunter's Rhyme is green? Alright, well. You want this class to be some sort of spell casting ranger, but Hunter's Mark only procs off attacks, and you can't concentrate on other spells while using it. Yeah, also the temporary HP kind of gets in the way of Tireless later. And conflicts with later ranger features. A lot of damage spells for a class that isn't incentivized to use them. Ever. Keeps you from rating level 11 Chilling Retribution as green. Why is this not just restrained or something? And why is it Wiz Long Rest? I don't understand. This seems clunky. What keeps you from rating level 15 Frozen Haunt as green? Doing an extra 2d4 at level 15 is nothing. And why does this activate from using Hunter's Mark? Can't it just be a bonus action? And why once per day? Like, jeez Louise, man. Scion of the 3 subclass. No, of course not. Ugh. I apologize to people who are not used to watching my videos, but to be fair, once again, D&D videos barely get any views. So, you know, maybe I don't have to apologize to anyone, because no one even cares that it's an hour long. Your sneak attack hits a bloodied creature, they take extra damage at the weapon's type. Equal to your rogue level. Half your rogue level. Half your rogue level? So if they're bloodied, they take 2 piercing damage from sneak attack? That's horrible! Even at 20, it's doing 10 piercing damage. Oh, 10 piercing damage every turn is okay, actually. And by okay, I mean it's like, okay. In addition, when an enemy you can see is reduced to 0 hit points, you can take a reaction and teleport to an unoccupied space you can see. Okay. So, if I can see a ally with a rat bag kill a rat, I can teleport 30 feet. Nice. I'm joking to an extent, but you know. You can then make a melee attack. And so, oh, it's int per long rest? What the hell? Why? This is horrible. Int per long rest? I was gonna say, this is so cool. This is so good. I mean, you do get to teleport and make a melee attack, which is potentially another, or potentially a sneak attack if you haven't already done one, at least. So, that's nice. Or did they make it? Did they make it to where they change it back? Because I know they changed it to where you couldn't get a sneak attack twice on a turn, but they made it to where maybe you can again. Let me just check. Once per turn, you can deal extra damage to a creature you hit with an attack roll. Alright, I have made my decision. My decision is they can, indeed, make a second sneak attack on their turn as long as it is with a reaction on a different turn. So, this makes this really good. So getting this up to 5 times per long rest, which to be fair, it won't be 5 times, is probably fair. But someone does have to die, and you probably won't get 5 of these, so is it that good? Hard to say. You do also get another 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 damage per turn, which is okay. At least it scales a little bit. And that level 3, you get a damage resistance and a cantrip. Wowee. Sorry, I went off on that tangent for so long that I don't even know, like, you know, I'm sure after editing it'll all make sense. Oh, now we have a loud Skyrim song playing. For all these quiet ones. Turn it down a bit. Anyway, yeah, it's a lot of level 3 features. Bloodthirst, I'd like some changes. Not a ton, but some. I also would like this to not be an int class, because why make everything an int class? Well, okay, if I say I'd like it with tweaks, and that's green, right? Yellow is fine. Chill Touch is a lot worse than these, though, on a rogue. Not that it is useless, because it can't heal, right? Which is nice. But it's not good. Because you can't sneak attack on it, and unless you really, like, have to stop healing, it's kind of bad. I would have liked to see a True Strike on here, but I guess that would be too good. Fair enough. Just give me like a Prestidigitation or something instead. I'd be fine with that. Yeah, I mean, I'd like tweaks, but I think it's okay where it is. Although I can't write anything. The thing is, if you write it green, you can't write your, like, opinions. So I have to rate it yellow, even if I think it's okay. You gain a Cunning Strike option at level 9. For 1d6, you can fear them. That's it. That's the whole feature. Honestly, it's not bad. It doesn't say what the DC is. It just says they must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw. It doesn't say that you have a spell save DC either. So is it against your attack roll? Is it against your int? I don't know. It doesn't say. So as a feature though, as just 1d6 to make someone afraid of you, that's fine. It's not awesome as a level 9 feature. I would like to also get a flavor feature here. You know what? I'm just going to say that. There you go. Aura Malevolence. You radiate malignant power. Wowee. Each creature within your choice takes damage equal to your int mod. The damage is the same as the damage resistance granted by your Dread Allegiance feature. Cool. So if you pick Ball, your damage is bad in most cases. If you pick Merkel, your damage is pretty bad in a lot of cases. But if you pick Bane, your damage is alright. Yippee. You can change this, by the way, each long rest. So it's not terrible that they're of different power, but again, the following benefits. Battle Tyrant. You have advantage on attack rolls. against creatures with a frightened condition, which is nice because you can do that. Are you gonna have a problem finding advantage as a level 17 rogue? I hope not, because if you do, you probably weren't doing much in the campaign up until this point. When you roll sneak attack damage, you can treat a roll of a 1 or a 2 on the die as a 3. That's fine, but it's not that fun. So, it's gonna go yellow. The aura is... it's boring, but there's like nothing wrong with it. I like it as written with tweaks. Alright, here we go. I'd prefer the modifier for this class to be Wisdom, since it deals with cleric-esque themes. I'd like Bloodthirst to come back on a short rest as well. I'd like the reaction to come back on short rest as well. But it's fairly strong. So I could be convinced either way. Still touch. Can't trigger sneak attack. And it's very full in most cases. Also, having a reason to pick one of them and stick with it instead of like betraying your god every long rest might be cool. To the other two. I'd like a flavor feature here as well, since most of the time rogues kind of only look forward to getting to 9 and rarely ever get level 17 features. Level 17, if you don't have advantage on enemies as a rogue already, doing something wrong. Also, it's just more fun to re-roll 1s and 2s instead of making them all 3s. Even if it winds up being less damage sometimes. Alright, Spellfire Sorcery. How many of these do I have left? 2. Okay, we're getting there. Spellfire Sorcery, Sorcerer. Yo, it's been a while since I heard this song. It was kind of hard. Anyway. If you spend a sorcery point as a part of the magic action, or as a bonus action, you can unleash a following magical effect. So basically, just use a sorcery point to empower a spell. I don't know why it's worded badly when you could just word it simply and people will understand what you mean. Use a sorcery point to empower a spell once per turn. Cool. You can give temp HP, or do an extra d6 fire radiant damage. I think this should be baked into the spell, right? I know it might take a lot of wording, but realistically, just it's 1d6. Level 14, it goes up to 3, but are you really gonna be like, oh, I'm spending a sorcery point to, like, quicken spell Fireball, and then the guy who failed his Fireball save now has to make another dex save to take another d6? Like, I mean, that's ass. It's really clunky. I don't know. I think they should figure out how to do that without adding another saving throw. Spellfire spells. You can heal. You can damage. It's fine. I think these are good spells. So we go here. Spellfire Burst, yellow. Spells, green. Absorb spells. You always have counterspell prepared. It's fine. It's a good spell. Worse now than it ever was, but, you know, probably worth having always prepared. If a target fails the saving throw against counterspell, you regain sorcery points. Pretty good. If you were going to use counterspell anyway, why not? Right? It's fine. Get sorcery points back. Level 6. Pretty good. Honestly, if you counterspell someone and you get 1 sorcery point back, you're probably happy. Because you got a successful counterspell and a sorcery point. So, fine. Honed Spellfire. Spellfire Burst improves. It is a little boring that they added scaling to a feature for a level 14 feature. They should just add scaling to the base feature and then give them something actually interesting. Level 18, Crown of Spellfire. As a bonus action, gain the following benefits for 1 minute. Wow. Or you can spend 7 sorcery points. 1 minute, once per day. If you're hit by an attack roll, spend hit dice and reduce that damage. This is a cool idea. Is it good at level 18? I can't imagine it's that good, right? It is when you're hit by an attack roll, right? So, if it kills you just barely, you could spend some hit dice to not die, which is pretty much the only time you ever use this, but it's okay. Like, it's fine. You gain a fly speed? Sure, I guess. Fuck the dragon boys, I guess, but, you know. If you're subjected to a spell that makes saving throw to take half damage, you take no damage. Yep. And only half if you fail. Pretty good. You can fly and you're pretty tanky. It's fine. It's not like the craziest feature ever, but it's good enough. So, I don't know, whatever. I'll make it green. Alright, what keeps you from rating level 3 Spellfire Burst as green? Sorry. Oh, because that's the only thing I rated yellow. Right. You should bake the level 14 feature into this as just at level 14 it scales, and give them a real level 14 feature. Also, figure out a way to get rid of the saving throw. It's clunky, and making 2 saves every time I empower spell a Scorching Ray is really lame. Alright. Have you played Bladesinger? Yeah. Have you play tested? No. How do you feel about the Bladesinger? You cannot use your int mod when for attack and damage rolls during Bladesong, which is an immense upgrade. Because now you can pump con more than dex, which is probably what you wanted to do anyway. Gain proficiency in a skill from a list of options. Expanded weapon proficiencies. Replaced armor training. You can now use a weapon as a spellcasting focus. Cool. If you aren't wearing armor or using a shield, you can use Bladesong. Lasts for 1 minute. Cool. If you don't armor or shield, or you use 2 hands, it'll stop. Why? I don't know. It's dumb elf magic bullshit. While it's active, gain following benefits. The fact that it's just written on one side of the page is annoying me, because there's nothing over here. You can invoke the Bladesong a number of times equal to your int mod. Cool. You regain uses when you finish a long rest. Less cool. But to be fair, if you are Bladesonging for 3 combats a day, right? And then you need to fight people more, you're still a wizard, you still have spells, it's not the end of the world. Gain a bonus to your AC equal to your int. And your speed increases by 10 feet. Great. Not as good as the new Paladin, which can wear a shield and light armor, and still gets this. I don't know what they were thinking, but, you know. Whenever you attack with a weapon, which you have proficiency, you can use your int instead of strength or dex. Great. When you make a con save to maintain concentration, you can add your int. Honestly, this is unnecessary, but lovely. Anyone who was playing Bladesinger before will tell you that you wanted to multi-class a lot of times into Artificer for the int attacks and Fighter for the con saves. This is all very good. Training in Warren Song. Gain proficiency with martial melee weapons that don't have the two-handed or heavy property. You can use the melee weapon, which you have proficiency, as a spellcasting focus. This doesn't matter, because you can't wield a shield. And, well, actually, it might matter, because you can still dual wield, which you'll want to do more now than you did before, because I think the idea before was you just had a hand free and you had a rapier. The dual wielding seems pretty viable. We'll see. Extra attack. You can attack twice. You can cast a wizard cantrip in place of one of those attacks. Very good. Very good feature. Song of Defense. If you take damage while Bladesong is active, you can take a reaction to expend a spell slot and reduce the damage taken by 5 times the spell slot's level. This feature kind of sucks. Who cares? Right? Once again, if something just kills you, and it's like a save and not an attack roll, because if you use an attack roll, you'll just use shield, and it's just way better than this. But you can live on like 1 because you use a first level spell slot to take 5 less damage. I don't know. It sucks, but it's there. After you cast a spell that has a casting time of an action, you can make one attack with a weapon as a bonus action. This is pretty good. Yeah. Like, you can haste yourself, make some attacks. Pretty cool. Yeah. I don't know. So it's not bad. It's not, like, awesome. Especially if you're dual wielding. You're probably going to be able to make an attack with a bonus action anyway, but not if you had already cast a spell. It's okay. But I think the class is good enough where it doesn't matter that it's level 10 and 14 features are bad, because you're still a wizard who is pretty good at being a martial. So, this is great. This is great. This is great. This is mid. This is mid. All right. Cool. You get shield at level 1, and you can take a feat to give you AC as a reaction, and there are other reaction spells in the game, like Counterspell, IDK. It's kind of bad. Keeps you from rating level 14, Song of Victory as green. It's fine. At 14, it's kind of mid, but it's not too bad. Which country am I from? Albania, obviously. You can tell by my accent. Alright. I guess I'm done with the entire thing then. So, thanks for joining me. Sorry it was long. I'll put timestamps at the bottom for each of the classes, so you could just watch whichever one you care about the most. Thanks for joining me. Peace out.